music, let's talk reggae. There are a group of reggae persons who are planning to storm Yaoundé and give it an acoustic moment. And one of the organizers is right here, Yumo Elvis or Yumo Chris. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
I'm good.
Are you cold? Yaoundé is quite cold this morning, and are you still cold or you're all right?
Perfect.
You're perfect. I just needed to check your temperature before we start. You are a singer yourself of reggae.
Definitely.
And you are the organizer of this event. First of all, just tell me briefly, how long have you been singing? How would you describe your singing career? Is it booming? Are you happy or you have challenges?
Well, you'd hardly find anything on the surface of the earth without challenges. But what drives most is the passion, and when you fulfill that passion by doing something you're passionate about, I mean, the rest doesn't really matter.
Okay, all right. It tells it all, though. So tell me about this event you're having on the 25th of March in Yaoundé.
On the 25th of March, maybe I'd start by precising the location for Yaoundé dwellers. At Hotel Bukaro, it's opposite Jega Palace at Rue de Navik, just beside the Supreme State Control. We chose that venue for a number of reasons, and we will be producing live reggae shows from next Saturday, the 25th of March, from 8 p.m. We'll be organizing a first live reggae show, and subsequently, last Saturdays of every month, we'll be doing a live reggae show. Well,
it's endless?
It's endless. We hope to be able to transform the event and get it to bigger venues. Let's start with that.
Now you have a reggae moment that is regular in town. If you're a fan, you need to open your ears again. We're not done talking. So tell me, give me an idea of what those who come will be having.
We have actually, conceptually, we decided to start by visiting some reggae classics. We know most persons love reggae because of certain names. So on Saturday we'll start by visiting reggae classics, Bob Marley, the late South African Lucky Dube, Jimmy Cliff, Alpha Blondie, and most of the great names in the reggae scenery. We'll visit some of their classics. Then we use it as a platform to promote local talent. So we'll be having 3 main performers or guest performers for Saturday. We'll be having the group Naya. We'll be having Sister Jace, we'll be having Bex, and I'll be doing a few of my songs as well.
Sister Jace, that's somebody I want to discover. But I'm sure there are many talents. You were saying a while ago off camera that reggae has a lot of undiscovered talent, and I hope we'll get to discover them in the coming days. When you were naming some of the names people retained, Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, and we could name them till tomorrow, but one thing runs through them: they were very enigmatic, very committed persons, some who died for what they believe in. Is that reggae, or it's just coincidence?
Reggae was born out of the strive for the betterment of the human condition. So basically, reggae has always had a history of consciousness in its message and in its push. So that spirit stays in reggae. You just can't get rid of that spirit. Whatever the theme, I mean, sometimes we could sing about love, we could sing about whatever, but in a conscious, with a very conscious approach, and that's what is specific about reggae.
But if you present yourself to people, and I wish Leo, my producer, will have a closer shot of you, people don't look at you and say you look like reggae, right? Because when you hear reggae, you want somebody with thick hair that probably looks like I don't know, looks like you've not washed for months, and probably smoking something and looking with the nails thick. So are you a new generation of reggae people, or you are just another trend, another way of looking at reggae?
Well, I understand that popular representation of reggae music well, but even with the older generations, the older generation, sorry, that we try to relate today, you know, we had persons with that look and we had persons with more sober looks. It's just a matter of choice, because it brings to mind the idea of Rastafarianism, and sometimes it's always very important to let people understand it's not a dreadlock issue. Dreadlocks is just a hairstyle. It's a lifestyle, a worldview, and it's not limited. It's too reductionist to relate reggae
to the hair.
To the hair and stuff.
Or to the nails.
Yeah, I would even cite a guy like Jimmy Cliff.
Yes.
He's a perfect gentleman, well kempt, low cut, but one of the greatest names reggae has ever had, and one of the greatest living reggae artists till date.
And one other thing I know about reggae people, they are very soft-spoken. So something could go wrong, I don't know, but the few I've heard of, I mean, when you listen to excerpts of Bob Marley, he spoke very gently. Lucky Dube did same. So, okay. Well, we'll be discovering more about reggae people at this Reggae Fever that's going to take place here in Yaoundé on the 25th of March. Any last words to those you want to invite to this moment before we go?
Well, we call on everyone who loves reggae or who has a positive thought about reggae to come on Saturday, the 25th of March at Bukaru, opposite Jega Palace, beside the Supreme State Controllers. From 8 p.m. on the dot, we'll give them the best of music, reggae music, live, and just what they need to ease their souls. And as a point of reminder, it's just the first edition of a series of them on the last Saturdays of every month, and we are preparing a huge event for the month of May, because the month of May is always special for reggae fans. It's actually on the 11th of May that we celebrate the life of Bob Marley. So for the circumstance, we are looking forward to a bigger venue and possibly for an international reggae act to come and give it the class that it deserves.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, Yumo Chris, and I hope we'll hear a lot more about you as to go about promoting reggae and the people who do reggae music like yourself. Have a beautiful day. There is a fruit that is coming back to the scene. It's called mangoes.
Yeah.
You like mangoes?
A lot. I grew up eating a lot of them.
And we have so many varieties of mangoes. Do you know this variety?
Well, to be frank, I know that we used to refer to them with numbers. Number one, number two, number three.
Number one, and what would this be, number 4?
Looks like number 4 was quite smaller, yes.
And number 4 and this was number what?
Well,
I
know number 1 and number 4. Yeah.
All of us know number 1.
Yes.
But let me give you this one. I wouldn't know the number 2. I know number
much.
1 and number 2. Number 2 is roundish, red, and very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Have a beautiful day. Now let's take you there to a moment with the Rotary Foundation. They were celebrating recently 100 years of existence, and that was a moment of charity. Gwendoline Egbe was with them and brought back our report.
Some famous motivational speaker